biggest news of last week, no doubt about it. They found a title fight for UFC 219. It's one of the best fights in the history of women's MMA. Two of the biggest names in the sport, two of the most recognizable and popular faces in the sport. It's Cris Cyborg defending her UFC women's featherweight title against the one and only Holm. Holly is kind enough to be joining us on the phone right now. Holly, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you, as always, for coming on the program. Are you surprised, Holly, that you're fighting Cris Cyborg in 6 weeks?
No, I figured it was going to be happening eventually, so why not now, you know?
I spoke to your agent, Lenny Fresquez, a week ago, and he told me that the fight was dead. How did it go from being dead to actually happening?
It was one of those things where, I've always said I'm open to the fight with Cyborg. There's been a couple times we had talked about it before, and it was just one of those things that with this fight, it kind of seemed like things weren't really like flowing very good. It was kind of being forced, and we thought, you know what, we always just kind of let things fall into place, and I just try to take the challenges that comes, and thought, you know what I mean? And if it's kind of being forced and it's not going to happen, let's not force it, you know, let's wait till it's kind of a more realistic, kind of just let it flow, you know. So we kind of just let go of trying to make it happen, and then things started to fall into place. I thought, well, okay, I guess it's falling into place. So next thing you know, it was a done deal, and I'm excited about it. It's been something that's been on my mind, obviously. We kind of figured it'd be happening soon, so we've been training for this fight anyway, and I know a lot of people think it's like last minute, but our minds have been around, you know, the Cyborg fight for a little while, and I think it's actually the perfect amount of time to have a good training camp. Sometimes when it's that intense for too long, you can peak too soon before the fight comes, physically and also emotionally. It can be a lot sometimes, the longer training camp can be, so I think it's a perfect time, perfect training camp.
It's been an interesting year for you. You start the year fighting at 145, then you go down to 135, then you go now at 145. Are you okay with this up and down? I mean, I know it's just 10 pounds, but is it a little bit strange to be going up, you know, one weight class and then down and then back up?
You know, going back and forth is, if there's time in between, it's fine. You know, I don't want to fight at 135 one month and 145 the next. So, you know, I've had a little bit of time to just kind of stay healthy, but I already know, you know, I'm probably walking around at a weight that, you know, Cyborg probably cuts water from, for all I know. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure I am. So I just want to kind of stay where I'm at and stay strong and stay healthy. That's my biggest thing. I know that I'm going up against, you know, the biggest 145er there is, and I normally fight at 135, but she's still beatable, and I know that I'm still strong, and I have all the confidence in myself.
So the road to get to this fight, I mean, not even in the last couple months, but, you know, it's just been talked about for so long. Like I said, this is the biggest women's MMA fight that the UFC could put on, that any promotion can put on. But it was an interesting road to get here with, you know, the talks of the contract, and also her saying that you're not getting drug tested enough. And you actually went on Instagram and responded to her, which isn't something that you usually do. Why did you feel the need to go out there and respond to her? It felt... There was nothing wrong with what you said, but it seemed somewhat out of character. You're kind of always like, I don't know, you just shut that stuff off. Why did you feel the need to actually respond to what she was saying?
Because it's crazy how people would actually start to even think. Here's the thing. I don't even want my name to be associated with any kind of performance-enhancing drug, because I've never used, ever. Not in any sport I've ever done in my life, not in anything I've ever done. And to be putting that out there, what she was doing is that had nothing to do with like pumping a fight. That had nothing to do with, you know, trying to even talk trash about a fight. That stuff's normal. But to be going and acting like I'm not getting tested or whatever. I was one of the most tested last year, and even this year I'm still tested more than she has been. So it's one of those things that it's like, just stop whining. It's just because I don't get on my social media and put up a picture of me holding the thing that says, "Oh, I've been tested today," that was my whole point. Like, just because I don't put it on my social media every time they come to my house or come to the gym doesn't mean I'm not getting tested. It's never an issue to me. They come, it's like, oh, you need to take a drug test. Okay. So I do it. It's not like I need to like plaster up there, look, I got tested today, and let everybody know. It's not really my style, but I definitely I didn't want that to be even something that would start this whole talk, like Holly and performance enhancing drugs. I just wanted to put a stop to it right away, because that's not how I am. I've always, done all my training camps and all my careers off of hard work. And that gives me more strength than anything. So I just kind of wanted to put a stop to that conversation before it even got anywhere, and before people on the internet started getting crazy. I just wanted to put a stop to it.
I remember you guys filmed the movie together, right? There's a photo of you and her and Misha Tate. What's your relationship like? Is it different than when that photo was taken when you guys did that movie? Does she get under your skin now? How would you describe it?
You know what? I've never had any issues with Cyborg. I really haven't. There's been plenty of times I've seen her. I think she's a decent person. There's definitely been a lot more like attacking coming from her side, but that happens a lot when fights are coming up. I really don't take too much to it. I'm just going to keep training. And when it comes down to the fight, no matter how much trash talk there is, or no matter how much someone can be nice to your face or in the public, doesn't matter. When it comes down to the fight, here's the facts. She's going to want to hit me as hard as she can. She's going to want to knock me out. Same here. I want to knock her out. I want to win the fight. That's all. That's the name of the game. So that's what I'm here for. I'm here to train hard because I want to get in there and I want to win this fight. And so however everybody has their different mindset behind it. If this is kind of how she needs to get to the fight, then that's fine. But that doesn't mean I'm going to be disrespectful along the way or anything like that. But I kind of let people be how they are. I'm sure we'll hug when the fight's over. I don't think that there's going to be anything, like a lifelong, anger battle between us or anything.
Are you the main event?
I don't know. I was co-main or main. I said I don't really care. Either one's fine with me.
Okay. Because they haven't really come out and said what's the main event, or if you are officially the main event. I would think that you are, and I think that it warrants being the main event, but I was just curious if you actually knew. Do you view this as your last chance to become UFC champion again?
It's the only thing I'm envisioning right now, because that's what's next. But this fighting world is a crazy world, and you never know when one can be back on top. There's people that have been. You look at somebody like Andrei Arlovski, who had the belt, was out of the UFC, fought back in, and then he was one fight away from getting back to it again. There's ups and downs, Then there's some losses and the wins. Like there's a lot of things that can happen. So I don't ever put my eggs in one basket for anything, but my goal is to get it now. I don't want to think, well, if I don't get it now, then maybe I'll get it here or there. I just want this fight to be a victory, whether it's a belt or not. I just want to win. And this is a big fight, the biggest fight of my career. Absolutely. And
well, they're
a hard 6 weeks, and
they're always the biggest fight, right? The next one is always the biggest, but
always.
When you hear, this can't be bigger than the Ronda fight, right? That was your first UFC title fight. In that, like, if you're just comparing what you were thinking leading up to it, or do you feel otherwise?
I think it's just different.
Okay.
And I try not to compare too much. Like, yeah, the Ronda fight was its own fight, and definitely had a lot of emotion behind it. Nobody thought I could do it, and I think this fight, there's probably more people might see it. Some see her winning, some see me winning. It's not, probably as one-sided as how people thought the Ronda fight would go. But, she's done really well in her career and had a lot of stoppages and ran through a lot of opponents. So I know I'm up against a really tough person, but she still hasn't faced me, and that's a whole different fight.
By the way, it was just the 2-year anniversary of your win at UFC 193. How did you celebrate?
I actually was in here training.
Okay. Did you even
training.
Did it even cross your mind, like when you saw the date that morning, that, oh wow, 2 years ago I shocked the world? No? Did anyone tell you?
I fought on my brother's birthday, so when the date came, I thought, oh, it's my brother's birthday. I didn't think about that.
Wow. That's amazing, because everyone was talking about it just a few days ago, November 15th to be exact. By the way, I was curious. I meant to ask you this the last time you were on, and I forgot. When you walked out for the Betch Kohea fight, a different song played. That was a mistake, right?
No.
That wasn't a mistake.
It was actually, no, I did it on purpose. I actually, I don't know, 2016 was kind of just like a rough go of a year. And, I had 3 losses, and I just thought, maybe I just need to change some. My dad goes, maybe you should get a whole different, just, not that the song makes a difference, but let's have start a new beginning and just change stuff up. Because my dad's the one that picked my walkout song. He's like, why don't you pick a different walkout song too, and just let's just get a different thing going here. And I said, okay. I kind of didn't think about it, and then I got, I was at my fight, and I started thinking, it was probably one of the first fights that my brothers both haven't been at in a long time, and they've always been my biggest fans since I was young. And it's a song we used to always listen to Led Zeppelin on the way to school. Okay. Either Led Zeppelin or the Beastie Boys. And so I thought, oh, you know what? I'm going to listen to some Led Zeppelin. One of the songs we used to play when we get pumped up to go out and basically go make a mess of things and cause some trouble. Yeah. And so I picked 2 songs, and I actually I just texted and said, hey, is there still time to change my song? It was the day of the fight. I hadn't done it before, and I forgot. And I was like, is there still time to change my walkout song? And I texted Chris Cyborg. I said, I don't know who I'm supposed to call. And he said, well, I can call and check. And I said, it's either this one or that one. I gave him 2 different options from Led Zeppelin. I said, and you can just pick whichever one. I don't really care. And I figured a fight is kind of unpredictable. A lot of things are unpredictable, so I didn't even know what song was actually going to come on. He goes, well, I'll wait and see if they can still do it. I think they can. And he goes, I get to pick? I said, yeah, just pick out of these 2, whichever one. And so we were in the locker room getting ready to go out, and I said, I didn't know if they even could change it. Maybe it was going to be my old walkout song. Maybe it was going to be the new one. And if it was a new one, which one was it going to be? And so then when it started playing, it was one of the Led Zeppelin ones I'd asked for. And I was like, oh, awesome, let's go. So, it's one of those things. I've never really been 100% stuck on a walkout song. The one I loved your old one because I loved it too. I loved it. Yeah. And there was, my dad and my brother picked it. It was just kind of a mindset thing of why I changed it for the last fight. And I'm not sure what I'll do for this next fight. Maybe I'll leave it. Maybe I won't. But I loved my old song. It was just one of those mental things.
Well, why did you pick that one? I feel like you were just about to say, and I interrupted you. Sorry. Why did you pick the original one, the one that you switch? Okay, so I never really had walkout songs. They'd always ask me what I want. I said, I don't really care, because I feel like that's just a celebration before you fight. The work's not done. I could tell you what song I'd want to play if I won. Yeah. That'd be easy, but I don't really care. If I just want to get in there and fight, I don't really care about, the exact song that's not going to make a difference. And so as soon as I started getting into other kind of getting on me about certain, walkout songs. And I remember one of the ones they had brought up was they played one time was 2 Trailer Park Girls Go Around the Outside. And I thought, well, I don't know if I really want that to be my walkout song. Everybody was kind of laughing about it. But excuse me. Bless you. Was that a sneeze?
My dad. Yeah.
Okay.
My dad and my brother came over and was like, we found a walkout song. This is what you need. And I was like, what is it? He goes, Irish background. He's like, because, all my heritage, my dad could go get his, citizenship in Ireland if he wanted to. I have a lot of Irish blood in me, and so we've always been kind of proud of that. I'm very proud to be American, but I'm very proud of my Irish roots. And he's like, this is the perfect song. So my brother and my dad came over and played the song for me, and we played it in the house. And I was like, that's it. Let's just use that. So I've been using it ever since then. And I took pride in it because it was kind of one they picked for me. I didn't really pick myself. And so it's possible I might use it again. It's not like it's going to be retired forever, but I'm not really sure. We'll see how to play for the next one.
You were in attendance at 214 when Cyborg last fought, and I know there are some people who thought, and not trying to take anything away from Tanya Avenger, but maybe this wasn't the Cyborg of old. Maybe there are some holes in her game. Maybe she's not as aggressive. Did you feel the same way? Did you feel like, all right, after watching that fight, this is the perfect time to fight her? She's not quite as good as she once was?
So I wouldn't say that necessarily. If people think she wasn't as good as she once was, I think that maybe the sport just keeps evolving, and so girls keep getting tougher and learning more and getting more technical. So I don't think that's it. I think that I think the main thing with that fight is that Tanya Avenger is she's really tough, and she's not easily mentally beat. I think that she's just a strong, tough girl, and so she probably got in there with just the thought of, I'm going to get in here, I'm going to scrap, and maybe didn't do the deer in the headlights thing with Cyborg, and I think that's why she probably did all right. But I don't know. I feel like that fight is still different than what ours will be. I mean, Tanya Avenger, she's definitely a tough girl. She had the belt with Invicta for a while for a reason, and but I had said that I was open to fighting Cyborg even before that. I just wanted to be able to have time to train for it. I know that we kind of talked a little bit before, and they said, well, what about a catch weight? And I said, yeah, I'm open to a catch weight. I mean, let me know what you think. And I think she said she's not going back to 140 ever again. And then they opened a 145 pound division, and that's when she got the red flag for the diuretics or whatever with her drug test. So she was off for a while. And then when she came back, it was one of those things like, they kind of mentioned, oh, what about, if I fought on that last fight that she actually had? And I said, I just fought at 135 in June. I'd probably need a little more than like 3 weeks to train for that fight. I said, I really do want to have that fight, but I just need to just get a full training camp and I'm in, So it wasn't a surprise to me that it was the next fight, that this is what's happening now.
I know you've been asked about the Ronda fight ad nauseum and, the losing streak afterwards and, Buster Douglas, all this stuff. But is there any part of you beat Cyborg? You're the only person in the history of women's MMA to beat Cyborg and Ronda, the three of you, and then you throw in Miesha Tate, probably the biggest names ever. Is there any part of you that feels if I beat her, I validate what I did 2 years ago in Sydney? Do you think of it that way at all?
I feel like every fight is its own journey and its own thing. Yes, it's a little frustrating, having 3 losses after the Ronda win. However, it's not like I just got a lucky punch with the Ronda win and then went and got my ass kicked for 3 fights in a row. There was, with the Miesha Tate fight, I was ahead, and yes, she caught me and choked me out in the last round. Shevchenko, I feel like she beat me, but it was still a tough, close fight. And everybody kind of thought the fight should have gone the other way around when I fought Jermaine Durandame. So if I like to listen to everybody else outside, then yes, I would probably think, oh my gosh, am I really, doing that well, or am I really capable, or did I get lucky? No, I know I didn't get lucky. I know that it was good, hard work that got me the belt in the first place. And I know that I've had some tough fights since, but I know I was capable of beating each and every single one of those girls. It's not that it was just a fluke deal when I beat Ronda. Right. And I know that in my heart. And so it's easy for me to stay focused and know that I'm still capable of greatness. Cyborg is a whole different fight. It's not even the same type of style or anything as Ronda. So I don't really want to compare any of my fights too much. I just want to focus on this one, and I just want to beat her.
Okay. Fair enough. Last thing for you, and again, thank you so much for the time. So Cyborg hasn't lost in 12 years. She lost her MMA debut, and she hasn't lost since. She had the Muay Thai fight, but I'm talking MMA. From your perspective, and you're part of a team that does their research, some of the best coaches in the game, I know it's a kind of a simple question, and maybe you don't want to give away too much, but in your mind, what's the key to defeating Cris Cyborg? She thinking? Or did we lose her? I think we lost her. I love when that happens. Oh, Okay.
Are you there?
Oh, you're back. Yes, you're back. Sorry, I didn't
back.
hear your. Did you hear my question?
Yes, but then it just went. I heard like a zzz, and it just cut out.
Okay, we're back. So I asked you, in your opinion, fighting someone who's been unbeatable for 12 years, what's the key to actually beating her?
Well, I think one of the biggest things is just to believe I can beat her. That's, I think a lot of people see her as being unbeatable, and then they almost think they can't do it. And if you don't think you can do it, it's not going to happen. That's number one. Number two, yes, I want to listen to my coaches because they all, have their insight on what can, beat her in this fight. And every fighter is beatable. There's holes in everybody's game. And we're putting together a good game plan that I feel confident about. And, we have, the whole training camp to be able to put it together. And when it comes down to the fight, what it comes down to is me performing it. And that's what I need to do. She is very beatable. She is very tough. I'm definitely not looking past her, but I'm not going to look at it like it's not obtainable, because then there's not even the possibility of making it happen. So I'm confident in this fight, and I really do feel like I can beat her. And I just need to stick together with my team and keep focused, just a real sharp focus on this fight.
One of my favorite fights of the year. I love this fight so much. I'm happy that it got made.
Thank you.
Appreciate the time, Holly. Thank you very much. Good luck in training, and we'll see you on December 30th.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, there she is, Holly Holm, the preacher's daughter. I thought that her walkout song going into the Betchko fight, of course, she won that fight, snapped the 3-fight losing streak. I thought it was a mistake. I love the old one, but kind of makes sense. You want to switch things up. I get it. I always love when a fighter sticks with the same song, becomes sort of recognizable and attached to them.